Welcome back, everyone, to episode number 23 of Sports Talk Live, also known as Super Bowl weekend. I'm excited. I think Jacob's excited.
And Super Bowl weekend.
It's going to be
about to go down.
It's going to be a good game. So if you're like living under a rock somewhere, Chiefs, Buccaneers, Super Bowl this Sunday, 3:30 Pacific time. So if you're on the East Coast, 6:30, all that great
stuff. Yeah, guys, be there. You won't want to miss it.
Be there or be square.
It's going to be one for the books.
So who do you have? Let's just get right into it. Who do you have? Bucks, Chiefs.
Okay, so this is the game that I know there's been games that we talked about like, oh my God, we don't know where we're going to go with this. But I think this is the game of all games where I feel like it could go either way. And I'm going to say Kansas City.
Oh, I'm taking the Chiefs too. I don't blame
I'm going to say Kansas City, but I would not be surprised to see Brady be Brady and pull out a victory. I would not be surprised. And frankly, I feel like the people want it.
I think the Super Bowl is almost like you could very likely see a passing of a torch in the Super Bowl. Because Brady, let's be honest, he's 40 years old. He has max, 2 years max left in him.
Honestly, he literally just announced, well, not just announced, but it was maybe a week or two ago, that he's going to be playing until he can't walk anymore, which we all know that's not literal, but what is he on it? Didn't he sign a 3 to 4 year contract?
He signed a 3 year, so I believe he has 2 more years. That's why I think that's the max.
I would not be surprised to see him at least go one more if he wins, or if he loses to try to rebuttal that. I would not be surprised.
I don't know, man. There's something about winning a Super Bowl and just being able to retire, just ending on top.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So I wouldn't be surprised also if he were to win and I see him retire.
Mm-hmm.
But it's I don't know. Would you be more surprised to see him retire off a win or see him win in return?
I would be more surprised to see him win in return, honestly. Because
I think so too.
He's at a point in his career, he has nothing left to prove. He's the best quarterback of all time, right? Nobody's arguing if he's the best quarterback of all time. Maybe they'll argue skill or something else, but just trophies, and you can't say Brady's not the best quarterback of all time, in my opinion. You could say maybe he's not the best passer of all time. I could see an argument where someone says someone's better at throwing a certain pass or something. But as a leader and I don't know. Am I crazy in saying that?
I don't think so. I think what you're trying to say is a lot of people focus on this person's raw talent.
Like Aaron Rodgers, for example.
Okay, exactly. So you can have somebody who's as talented and as athletic, skillful as Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, what makes the difference is the decision-making of Tom Brady.
Yeah, decision-making and just the winning. Brady just wins. There's no other way to say it. He just wins. Aaron Rodgers.
It all comes down to decision-making, really.
Yeah.
He's a great judge of, what to do in certain situations. And, I wouldn't be surprised if his input runs a good amount of that offense. We all know it definitely does. And how could you not? If you have that guy behind the helm, you know what he's capable of.
So what I'm laughing about is I was gonna say Brady's probably who's better in the pressure, and then I thought, you know what, Brady's the second best all time under pressure, because you know who's best? Eli Manning. Yeah, the only guy to beat Brady twice in the Super Bowl. Dude, I saw with the Super Bowl coming up, you always see highlights. Dude, that David Tyree pass where dude, that is one of the best football plays of all time. There's no reason Eli Manning wasn't sacked to begin with. And then the catch, man, if you don't know who David Tyree is and the Super Bowl catch, look it up, watch it.
Oh my, what was that, 2008?
That was a while ago. Yeah. 2008.
Yeah, most of our participants watching this now probably haven't heard of that.
Man, dude.
But I really would like you guys to check it out. Really cool.
That is probably one of the best Super Bowl games in a long time. That was such a good game.
Yeah, it really was. It really was.
And then
there were so many good Super Bowls during those early 2000s, late 2000s.
Remember Steelers Cardinals, that Super Bowl? Larry Fitzgerald, dude. Let's just take a moment to reminisce some of our favorite past Super Bowls. But that Steelers Cardinals one, man, the Larry Fitzgerald play just blows by everyone down the field.
Yeah,
the touchdown. Big Ben comes back, gets down the field, and then the Santonio Holmes catch to win the game. And dude, in that Super Bowl, you also had the James Harrison pick six.
I was right about to say, wasn't that also the same Super Bowl of James Harrison taking it to the house?
It wasn't only a normal pick six. It was like a 99-yard return.
It was from one end zone to the other.
And the dude, James Harrison, for like Jacob said earlier, those participants, you may not know who James Harrison is. Phenomenal player. He's a big dude, not the smallest guy. My favorite moment of that whole part is afterwards he's laying on the ground and they bring him an air machine. So he's like on the ground and he has his oxygen mask on, still trying to catch his breath. I was dying, man.
There were so many great games. There were a couple duds here and there that just weren't as exciting as they should have been. Yeah. But for the most part, the Super Bowl during that era was phenomenal. Some
great Super Bowls for sure. I mean, I think the best Super Bowl of like recent memory I can really remember is probably the Falcons choking one. Like,
I don't know.
That's probably one of the most tragic Super Bowls. But in the end, it was a good game because for the Patriots to be able to come back from that, that's like insane. It's hard to say.
Yeah, it was a game that looked like it was about to be a blowout. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden it was like the Falcons just flatlined after that.
You know the worst part about that Super Bowl? I got so sick. That was like the sickest I have been in my life that day. I fell asleep during the second half. I didn't remember it at all. I literally remember the Falcons having a huge lead, and then like I was kind of feeling not good, so I like took a nap, and I like wake up and then they're losing, and I'm just like, what just happened? I was mind blown. Because there's really no other way. Oh, looks like here he is. He's back.
I don't know what just happened there.
I think your internet dropped out for a second. You're back though. That's all that matters. So what I was saying is, I don't know how much of that story you heard before you dropped out, but like I was the sickest I ever been in that Super Bowl. Like I remember the Falcons being up big, like kind of passing out, and then when I woke up, they were losing, and I was just like, "What is going on?" Like,
couldn't
understand it. Oh.
That Super Bowl was something else. I mean, it was a great game, but it was tragic for me as a fan. But 2003 was a tough year for me.
I don't even know.
That was Patriots and Carolina Panthers, and
okay,
we had the game and lost it to a Vinatieri field goal.
Was that the Tuck rule year? 2003?
No, that was a Vinatieri field goal.
I know, but the Tuck rule where the Patriots beat the Raiders in the AFC Championship.
No, I don't. Was it that year? I think it was the year before that, wasn't it?
2002, maybe. Man, that Tuck rule destroyed the Raiders. It's literally like a curse now, I feel like.
Oh, yeah.
The Raiders been to the playoffs once since then, and they lost. And literally the one time they make the playoffs, Derek Carr has a broken leg, no starting quarterback. Dude, you know how tragic it was as a Raiders fan to be so hyped because your team's finally having a good year, and then right at the end of the season, your quarterback breaks his leg, and you have to play Connor Cook, a rookie quarterback.
Do you know what it's like when your team goes 15-1 and blows it in the Super Bowl? I do. That's harsh.
That's the Patriots fans.
You're not a Patriots fan, though. But the Patriots fans can definitely understand that. But the thing is, most of the people watching us probably don't know that the same year that they lost to Eli Manning was the same year they almost went undefeated.
Well, they've lost to Eli Manning twice.
Well, yeah, that first year, though, that 2008 David Tyree catch we were talking about.
Yeah, I know, dude. That is gonna be like one of my favorite all-time things. That one of the best like football dynasties of like my early lifetime lost to a New York Giants-led team led by Eli Manning twice. Well, didn't one year they like barely making the playoff? I think the David Tyree year they were
a wild card. They were a wild card.
I think they were like 500 too. It wasn't. They were like 8-8, 9-7 or something.
Yeah, but that D line just was bullying everybody. That whole playoffs was just
they were dominant all playoffs. Yeah, no, they definitely looked like they belong.
That was the Justin Tugg, Michael Strahan, had Yumi Yura. Yeah, it was just
they had a bunch of beasts. Man. Okay, so let's get into the Super Bowl a little more. There's a couple players that were named out. I can't remember them off the top of my head. I'm trying to look. I know Sammy Watkins is questionable. Not that that's really huge for the Chiefs.
I have a question. What happened with the Chiefs and their barber?
Yeah, they had a barber incident. Some center got half a haircut.
He got a half a haircut. Apparently, it was already close contact, so they finished him off. But
oh yeah, sorry if you hear that phone ringing outside my room. It's a little loud. I don't know if you hear that.
Nope, we do not.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, no. So they had some incident where their barber, who was supposed to cut like 20 of their players' hair, his COVID test came back mid haircut of the center. They both had face masks on, so that I think, like Jacob said, I believe the center just told the guy to finish the haircut because at that point, if he has it, he has it, I guess. But they had to cancel the rest of their haircuts, go find a barber that could test negative.
Yep, and Patrick Mahomes was in line.
Luckily, I believe nothing's come out more about that, so I don't think any of those players have tested positive since then. But it was kind of a moment of worry. Like, man, what would happen if like half of the Chiefs tested positive, like Patrick Mahomes and all those guys?
I don't know. I mean, I know the league wouldn't want those guys to not play. But see, you can't postpone the Super Bowl either.
You say that, but like you can't have a Super Bowl where one of the team's players are just all out. Like, dude, you know how
much money it's going to cost the league to reschedule a Super Bowl?
What's really going to cost them?
They're going to be paying for all of like the entertainment side of it and having to do all of that. Like,
honestly, the Weekend halftime show, I bet is going to be pre-recorded.
It may. Who knows?
I don't think with everything going on in the world, I haven't looked it up. I don't know. I'm just talking out of my head. But there is no way they're gonna do it live. That's
the one thing I have not looked into was the halftime show.
I did see something that said the Weeknd put $7 million of his own money above the budget into that show.
You see what I mean?
So I'm kind of
Imagine if they did
spend money. But yeah,
I don't know if he put in $7 million for a virtual version.
Well, I'm not saying virtual. I'm just saying like he could be in another stadium and they could have recorded it.
Possibly. Yeah.
That's what I think. And it could even be live, but he'll be in another stadium or something. I just really don't know if he'll be at the actual field. So let's talk about this game a little more. What are some players other than Mahomes and Brady, obviously, that you think we should keep our eyes on? Anybody you think's out here looking for redemption?
I think we're definitely going to have to keep an eye on – it's hard to even just say one in particular, but all of the Tampa Bay wide receivers right now, including Scotty Miller. Like I'm not saying that he's going to go and have a monster game or anything like that. I mean, he may not even do anything.
You know the rule. You know the rule. If you mention Scotty Miller, he's going to be Potty Miller that game.
Yeah, what? Enough talking about Scotty. So, but like right now, the obviously people to watch are Gronkowski, and you got Mike Evans who won a little bit of redemption because we all know what happened last time they played the Chiefs. It wasn't a great game for either of those guys or any of those. I'm
intrigued by Antonio Brown too. I'm curious about Antonio Brown.
Yeah,
I mean talk about. Is there a single player whose stock has dropped more over the last 2 years? I can't think of one who's like just.
I don't. I the ones you can't think of are the ones that aren't in the league anymore. So
obviously, but
taking notes.
I'm just saying,
Coach Christian, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Take notes, sir. But I didn't even realize he was here. So thank you for stopping in. Thank you for commenting.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, but
it'll be interesting.
I don't think that's a fair evaluation to give. We all know that you're not a fan of Antonio Brown already.
No, I'm not hating on Antonio Brown. I'm just saying
we all know you're not a fan of Antonio Brown, and that's okay. And yes, he's not at all the player he was, and he's not at all the player they probably were hoping he was going to be. But I will refer back to episode 1 or 2, whatever it was. Remember? Do you remember?
Yeah, I know what I said. I didn't think he was going to get another chance. I'll be legit.
Yeah, if you guys are here listening right now, go back to episode 1 or 2 and find the Antonio Brown comments that. Oh, wrong way.
I'm not turning away from what I said. I didn't think Antonio Brown would be back, but I also don't think he's had a good year. He really has.
He's been decent.
And I say his stock has dropped, as in he went from like in the conversation to top 3 wide receiver in the league, and he's nowhere near that conversation right now. So that's
I think that talk was more so fantasy than it was reality.
I would argue he was.
Anybody expected him in reality to go and be, a top 3 wide receiver. I think that was his ceiling.
But he was a top 3 receiver.
Yes, you can argue he was a number 1 receiver. But what I'm saying is, after his absence, I don't really think that people in the league were expecting him to come and be a top wide receiver like that right off the bat. After that long of an absence,
you're literally agreeing with me with what I was saying. But
yes, but listen, but you're saying the stock dropped, meaning they had to have thought that from the get-go.
I'm saying when he was traded to the Raiders, at that point in time, he was thought of as a top 3 receiver in the NFL. Top 5.
Yep.
So I'm saying since that trade, nobody's stock has dropped more because he's no more. I don't know anybody who'd consider him still a top.
That's not true. Not true.
That's
not true. He's in the league. His stock's still there. There are players who had the same thing. They're gone.
Yeah. But I'm just.
Oh, that stock dropping.
His stock dropped. Like, you have to think of it like. I almost got way too technical. I almost brought up actual stocks. I was about to bring up GameStop.
The point is, yes, he is not the player he used to be. Fantasy perspective, he was talked about ginormously, hugely as being a potentially top receiver because of the team he was getting put on, because of his potential talent. I think a lot of us knew that, when you miss that long of, you're just not in playing shape as long. You know what I mean?
100%.
It's really hard to just expect someone to go in and all of a sudden be a number 1 wide receiver in the league like that, especially when you haven't been on the field. Even if you've been training, it's just not the same. The game speed is not there unless you've actually been there. And, like I said, he's had a decent season. And I think a lot of people hoped he was going to be that top guy again.
Honestly, I think Antonio Brown had about as good of a season as you could have expected. Because you have to think the situation he came into with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. Those guys are both good receivers. Yeah. So he wasn't coming in to be a number 1 or even a number 2. He was coming in kind of as a number 3 receiver. So when you put those number 3 receiver expectations in your head, Antonio Brown had a really good season.
But that's exactly my point. He came in knowing to be a number 3 receiver, maybe 2 at best. So you can't necessarily say his stock was like dropping already. He was expected when he came into this season. Yes, his stock dropped because the incident with the Raiders and whatever his attitude and the Patriots after that. So yeah, we get it. It definitely stock dropped, you can say, but as far as expectations this season alone, I don't think, it was any lower than what we could have expected, just like you said.
Okay. Anyways, I think this game's going to be great. It's going to be fun. We'll talk about it next week, maybe wrap it up, recap it.
What about players from the Chiefs? Who should we be looking out for there?
It's pretty obvious. I mean, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, the offense is going to run through those two. Honestly, my real take of this game, it's not going to be an offense that wins the game per se. I think it's going to be whatever defense can make a stop. And I say a stop, not multiple stops.
Now, here's my thing. I feel that Tampa Bay may even have a better defense than Kansas City.
They do. But I think Kansas City has the better offense.
But their offense is just too high-powered.
Yeah, no, Kansas City's offense.
But you can't say that Tampa Bay doesn't have a high-powered offense right now either. So
I would say the Chiefs' offense is definitely better than Tampa Bay's.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I said. But what I'm saying is you can't deny the fact that Tampa Bay also has a good offense. And it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. It's clear that Chiefs are better offensively. It's clear the Bucks are better offensively. Matching up, I like I said, I think we all take the Chiefs. Well, I shouldn't say we all, but I think you and I at least take the Chiefs. And
because Pat Mahomes is going to take me home.
He's going to take us all home, which I'm surprised to hear you say that because I know you're a Raider fan. So
here. I hate the Chiefs. I'll be honest. I don't like them one bit. Not a huge Travis Kelce fan. I think Travis Kelce, tremendously talented. Just not a fan of Travis Kelce, though.
Because of the Chiefs.
Patrick Mahomes is just so good, you can't hate on him. Like, you watch him play, and you watch some of the throws he makes, and, like, you're picking your jaw up off the floor because, like, it just fell off. Like, jaw-dropping plays. So
spectacular.
I can hate on the team all I want. I can't hate on Patrick Mahomes. I can't. So I'm rooting for Patrick Mahomes, not the Chiefs.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. I do want to see. I wish I would have seen a little more out of Gronkowski this season.
I mean, he's even said it. He kind of came in as a blocker.
Yeah.
He didn't necessarily come in to catch balls. He came in to be there for Brady and block for Brady. And him catching is just a added bonus.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I would like to see him. I wouldn't mind seeing him score a touchdown in the Super Bowl. I think that'd be exciting. See a Gronk touchdown. Imagine you see a nice Gronk spike in the touchdown back to old.
If Gronkowski scores a touchdown,
it'd just be nostalgic, in my opinion.
Gronk scores a touchdown and the Chiefs win. Both those things happen. We get a live rendition of Pat Mahomes' "Take Me Home" by you next week.
I want those things to happen. Why am I going to get punished for it?
Because what's the odds they both happen?
I don't think they're that slim.
Oh, I totally agree. I don't think they're that slim at all. That's what I wanted to say.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think they're that slim. Like, I think the odds of it happening are good.
Okay. So let's go on to some baseball news. There was a big signing today. The number one free agent, Trevor Bauer, announced he will be signing with the Los Angeles Dodgers. And let me tell you, when something could not have been more heartbreaking when I found out, literally, I don't think I've been more heartbroken by any other signing in baseball or trade in so long. Like, last time I was this heartbroken was when Melky Cabrera got suspended for performance-enhancing drugs, and most people don't even know who Melky Cabrera is. But I love Trevor Bauer. Trevor Bauer is one of my favorite players in the MLB, and to know he is on the Dodgers breaks my heart.
He was from the Mets, right?
No. So Trevor Bauer never played for the Mets. He played for the Cleveland Indians for years and then went to the Cincinnati Reds.
Why was I thinking Mets?
The agency decision came down between the Mets and the Dodgers. So he was either going to play for the Mets or the Dodgers.
Oh, that's right. That's what I was reading.
He was choosing between those two teams, and he chose Dodgers, and my heart broke.
I actually, I did. I wanted to. The funny thing is that was the biggest headline, obviously, and that was what I was going to mention. I'm glad you did it because you did it obviously better than I did. But that was one of the only headlines that I actually read for MLB. I was like, I got to have something for baseball this time because I've been slacking the last one. But
you're going to say the former New York Met when he never played for them.
Yeah, so I'm glad you took that one over. Thank you for that.
I'm not letting you look like a goofy out here.
Yep.
And also the Giants signed a free agent in Tommy La Stella. Tommy La Stella is 32 years old. He's been around baseball for a while. I think he debuted as a 25-year-old. He's been with the Angels, most recently the A's. He very much follows what the Giants GM Zadie is trying to do, just getting guys who get on base. So he has more walks than strikeouts. And since the new Giants management has started, they've prioritized walks over strikeouts. So if you are a Giants fan, just know you're going to be in line for a lot of walks this year. That is their goal, to just get some free bases, right? If you're giving something for free, you got to take it. So it's an interesting perspective that we haven't really seen a team get built upon. You kind of saw it with the Dodgers, but now you see the Giants going full on with it, and I'm excited where it could lead. So stay tuned if you're a Giants fan. Could be a fun season. Even though, you know the worst part about being a Giants fan? The two best teams in the league are in their division. Dodgers and the Padres, especially now with this Christian doesn't know how to spell great. Coach, you need to go back to English class. But it is a great song. Pat Mahomes, Take Me Home. You can never hate on Pat Mahomes. It's a great song. But yeah, so Giants is going to be cool for a new season. It's going to be a rough season like I was just mentioning. But I think it's time. You know what it's time for?
What time is it for?
It's time for Warriors Talk, a.k.a.
Warriors
our
Talk.
basketball section.
Warriors Talk.
That's our sound effect.
Did you see the game?
The game where they dropped like almost 150?
That small ball lineup.
Dude, they only had 9 active players. That is insane. Kelly Oubre with the career high. Man. So just to catch everyone up, if you haven't been following the Warriors, all of their centers are hurt. They have 3 centers hurt, which is because Marquise Chris broke his leg, Wiseman sprained his wrist, and then who's the other one? Looney had rolled his ankle, and then you even had Pascal out, who's our small ball center with the knee swelling. And the only other big guy on our team, Alan Smilagic, is sent to the G League. So the Warriors were playing with their tallest player being 6'7" against Porzingis, who's 7'3", Boban Marjanovic, who's 7'4", and Willie Cauley-Stein, who's 7'1". So the Warriors had a definite height disadvantage, and they used it to their advantage, funny enough.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely an exciting game. Unfortunately for me, I didn't get to see the first half. I had other things going on. I was taking care of other things, and I caught the game when I needed to. But you know, great thing is, and he's one of the only few to do this, where he hit his season goal of 3-pointers made in less than 22 games. That's Steph. You know, he hit 103 so far in 22 games.
That's pretty crazy. It definitely is.
That is indeed very crazy. He's 5th in the league in points per game right now. But what I really want to focus on, you know, is how great our other players have been as well. And it's not necessarily that they've been like, you know, superstars every single game, but and I know a lot of people call Draymond the single machine, like whatever, like things like that, you know what I mean? But I don't think people realize how much impact a player like that has. He's not putting up these magnificent numbers, but the impact of him on the court alone is just.
Sorry, I cut you off there, but I was going to say, just building off that, you could see from the games they didn't have him at the beginning of the season, and when they got him, it was just immediately a different team. And he didn't even have any crazy stats. He had like 4 points, a couple assists, and like a couple rebounds. Like it's like almost having a coach on the basketball court. Like he just knows where everyone should be, knows what, like he's always in the right spot. It's great watching him play. I mean, actually, last night when he had to play small ball center for a significant, like pretty much the whole game, he was a center.
Yeah.
15 assists as a center.
Yeah.
We had a point center.
Exactly. 15 assists. And what he went 3 for 5, I believe. So he didn't shoot much. He didn't make much. But the point is just his whole presence there and that type of leadership can make a whole difference for a unit. And, you know, a lot of times it's not about the amount of points that you're putting up, but the effort that you're putting in on the court, you know, and a lot of that will translate, you know, and not just points, but it'll translate to multiple things. One is you become more respected amongst your peers, and you become more, you know, of a leader in reality. So he's one of our leaders, and what I really like is that he's gonna be the mentor. He is the mentor for Wiseman. And
sure.
I know a lot of people are like, oh, I don't like Draymond because of this, or he talks too much, or he kicks people and this is that. But I don't know if there's anybody I would rather have teaching Wiseman right now.
Not there yet. Because it goes beyond just the play on the court. It's the work ethic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if Wiseman's going to get great, obviously he has the physical like tangibles. Like we've all seen it. He has the three-point shot. He can dunk. In transition, he's good. He gets the blocks. It's about putting all that together. But to put it all together, it's the mental game that comes out the most important.
Yeah.
Like, if you can't win in the head, you're not going to win on the court. And I think there's like no one better mentally than Draymond. At least on the, especially like, yeah, no. So there literally is nobody else I would want mentoring Wiseman. Like, and I think Draymond knows it too and knows how much of an impact he can have on Wiseman. Because it really looks like, if you watch the games, that Draymond's just fully embracing that role. Sorry. Like you see it, like Wiseman will get a foul called on him or take a shot, and immediately after the play, you see Draymond talking to him, be like, hey, like, look at this, look at that. And it's really cool to see that interaction.
Yep. Teaching him. It's great. I love it. And that's what he needs. And, you know, I'm excited. I'm really excited I know that, you know, there's some games where we feel like we should win and we've been losing a couple here and there, but, you know, overall, I think, you know, once everybody starts clicking really well, we saw Damian Lee perform really well. You know, a lot of people perform really. Kelly Oubre.
Yeah,
he dropped 40 last night, if I'm not mistaken.
His career high. Yep.
So
he went 7 for 10 from 3, which is huge for him because if he's
struggling early on.
I mean, obviously he's not going to shoot 7 for 10 every game. You can't expect anybody to shoot 70% like consistently from 3 at least. But at least just getting Oubre to where like he can make that corner 3 will do like tremendous amount of work for the Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually read an article how they might, because of the small ball lineup, they might try playing Kelly Oubre in a situation where there's not a center on the court, where there's not a Looney or a Wiseman going forward, because he just looked so much more comfortable without a center on the court last night. Or not last night. Was that 2 nights ago? Get my nights mixed up.
That was yesterday.
It was last night? Oh, man, I'm all over the place. I'm a wreck. Actually, I'm looking at Twitter right now as we talk. And
2 nights ago.
What's up?
Was 2 nights ago. No, I forgot. Now making me.
I think it was 2 nights ago. But what was the last night? I'm so lost now. Anyway, Zion Williamson just scored his 1,000th career point, which is pretty crazy to think about. He is the second fastest all time to score 1,000 points.
Who's first?
Who do you think? So Zion Williamson did it in 44 games. The fastest person did it in 43.
Kareem.
It is not. Actually, Kareem is on this list.
Bill Russell.
Nope. There's 6 names on this list. Neither of those names are on it. Do you want a hint?
Yes.
What hint should I give?
I don't know.
You want the first team they played for?
Sure.
Or the team they were most famous for?
I don't know. Just hit me.
They played. You have this player's jersey.
What?
You have this player's jersey.
Shaq.
Yeah, Shaquille O'Neal did it in 43 games. I was gonna say
chicken alert.
I was gonna say his first team he played for was the Magic, but then I had a mental thing like, wait, was that the first team he played for? So I didn't say it.
Yes, it is.
Okay, cool. I was just worried about saying it and being wrong. So Blake Griffin is actually tied for Zion with 44 games. Allen Iverson did it in 45. Joel Embiid in 48 games. I did not know that. And LeBron James in 49. I don't think anyone's surprised to see LeBron James there.
Yeah, I was gonna say LeBron, but I didn't think he was top 3, right?
But that is pretty crazy that Zion's there. I mean, especially considering, he doesn't really have much of a jump shot that teams fear as of right now. But that Pelicans team is an interesting one, definitely to watch. I mean, I feel like they're definitely not as good as they should be.
Yeah.
Kind of interesting. I think they need to find a way to build a team around Zion. I don't know if Lonzo's the best point guard to put on the court with Zion. Kind of feel like when you have a player like Zion, you need a more.
Have you seen
focused
the connection between Miles Bridges and LaMelo Ball?
I have not. I haven't watched enough.
If you have not, whoever's watching this right now, if you have not, look up Miles Bridges LaMelo Ball highlights, and it is crazy. I think that what these guys are doing is what everyone expected Zion and Lonzo to do.
Yeah. Wait, is Miles Bridges like a power forward or a center like Zion though?
No, he's not a center.
Is he a power forward?
No, if I'm not mistaken, he's a small forward, power forward. But
so he's a little smaller than Zion.
Yeah, he's definitely less heavy for sure.
Oh, okay.
And he doesn't look as like bulky, but the way he was just pounding the ball into the cup is just, it was crazy. It was nuts.
Yeah, so it's been a great week in sports. We're looking forward to another great week in sports. Make sure you leave any comments if you're here. And this is actually my second to last episode.
Say it again.
This is actually my second to last episode.
I was going to say, join us next week for Coach Brian's final sports talk episode. We're going to have a surprise party for him.
Oh, we are?
It's not a surprise because I said it.
Anyway,
it's going to be great.
You might see me as a guest in future, but I don't want to promise anything I can't deliver on. Christian's shocked in the chat. Pretty sure Coach Christian already knew this, though. With some fake excitement. I'm calling you out on it.
All right, everybody. We will see you next week with our Super Bowl recap. Thank you for tuning in. It's going to be a big show for sure, Coach.
Goodbye.